Every year, thousands of dogs end up in the emergency room for things that were completely preventable: a choking accident, a heat stroke, a spinal injury from one bad jump off the couch. And most of those owners had no idea that a cheap product sitting on a shelf could have stopped it. So today, I'm counting down the 9 dog products I would put in every single home, ranked from number 9 all the way up to the one that can genuinely save your dog's life. These are not gimmicks. Every one of them solves a real problem I see in the clinic. And for each, I'll give you the honest pros, the honest cons, and the price, so you know exactly what's worth your money and what isn't. Number 1 surprises almost everyone, and it's the one I would never skip. So stick with me to the end. Let's start the countdown at number 9. At number 9, the Silicone Paw Washer. Here's the problem most owners never think about. On every single walk, your dog's paws pick up whatever is on the ground: mud, lawn fertilizer, road salt in the winter, pollen, and traces of chemicals. Then they come inside, curl up, and lick those paws clean, swallowing all of it. Over time, that can mean upset stomachs, irritated, infected skin between the toes, and in the worst cases, actual toxins getting into the body. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. It's a little cup lined with soft silicone bristles. You add a bit of water, pop each paw in, give it a swirl, and the dirt and chemicals come off before your dog can lick them off. What I like about it, it stops your dog carrying that stuff into their body, and across your floors, the bristles are gentle, and it costs only about $10 to $20. The downsides? It only handles the paws. Some dogs genuinely hate having their feet touched, so you'll need to go slow and use treats. And yes, you do have to empty the muddy water afterward. It's not life-changing, which is exactly why it sits at number 9. But for a dog that walks outside, it's a cheap, smart habit. Now let's move up to number 8. Number 8, the dog ramp. Watch your dog leap off the couch, off the bed, or out of the back of the car, and what you're really watching is their entire body weight slamming down onto their front legs and spine. In a young, athletic dog, you might get away with it for years. But do that thousands of times, or do it with a long-backed breed like a dachshund or with an aging dog, and you are looking at serious joint wear and a real risk of a herniated disc, what we call IVDD, and at its worst, that ends in paralysis. A ramp simply gives them a gentle slope instead of a jarring jump. The pros? It protects the joints, the hips, and the spine. It is a genuine game changer for seniors and small breeds, and one good ramp covers the couch, the bed, and the car. The cons. It takes up floor space. Some dogs are suspicious of it at first and need a few days of treats to learn it, and a big, young, healthy dog may not need one yet. Price is usually $40 to $90. If your dog is small, long-bodied, aging, or already has any joint issue at all, I would call this one essential, not optional. On to number 7. Number 7, the cooling mat. This is one people underestimate until it becomes an emergency. Dogs barely sweat. They cool themselves mainly by panting, which means they overheat far faster than we do, and heat stroke can turn fatal in minutes, even indoors on a hot day. A cooling mat is a pad filled with a special gel that activates from your dog's own body weight and quietly pulls heat out of them as they lie on it. No electricity, no water, no freezer needed. The pros. It genuinely helps prevent dangerous overheating. There is nothing to plug in or fill, and it's perfect for hot rooms, car trips, and summer travel. The cons. It is mostly a warm weather product. A determined chewer can puncture the gel, so you'll want to supervise. And the cooling effect is temporary think relief, not air conditioning. Price is around $20 to $45. For a heavy-coated breed, a flat-faced breed like a bulldog or pug, or anyone living in a hot climate, this is a simple, cheap bit of insurance against a very real danger. Let's keep climbing. Number 6. Number 6, the Snuffle Mat. A huge amount of so-called bad behavior, the chewing, the barking, the pacing, the anxiety when you leave, is not a bad dog. It's a bored, understimulated one. A snuffle mat is a mat packed with fabric folds and strips, and you hide your dog's kibble or treats down inside it so they have to sniff and forage to find every piece. And that sniffing is deeply satisfying to a dog. It taps into their single strongest sense, it genuinely tires out their brain, and it lowers their stress hormones. The pros: it calms anxious and bored dogs, it slows down dogs that inhale their food, and it is cheap mental enrichment at around $15 to $30. The cons: most are hand wash only. You'll want to supervise a serious chewer so they don't start eating the fabric, and it is a supplement to walks and playtime, not a replacement for them. If your dog gets destructive the moment they're bored, this little mat can honestly change your evenings. Now we're into the top 5. Number 5. Number 5, the puzzle feeder. If your dog inhales their dinner in about 10 seconds flat, that's not just funny. Gulping food and air that fast can cause vomiting, and in deep-chested breeds, it raises the risk of bloat, a twisting of the stomach that is a true life-threatening emergency. A puzzle feeder makes your dog nudge, paw, and problem solve to release each little bit of food, so a 10-second meal becomes a 10-minute one. The pros: it slows fast eaters right down, it gives the brain a real workout that burns off nervous energy, and it cuts the boredom that leads to destructive habits. The cons: they can be a bit fiddly to clean. If you pick one that's too difficult, your dog may just give up in frustration. So start easy and build up, and you should supervise a heavy chewer. Price is $10 to $25, and it does double duty as both a food bowl and a toy. Honestly, a slow puzzle feeder and a snuffle mat together can transform a hyperactive dog. Let's move up to number 4. Number 4, and it is the cheapest thing on this entire list, the silicone finger toothbrush. By the age of 3, most dogs already have some form of dental disease. And here's what owners don't realize: it is not just bad breath. That bacteria living under the gum line gets into the bloodstream, and over time it can damage the heart, the liver, and the kidneys. Professional cleanings matter, but what actually protects your dog day to day is brushing. And this little silicone cap that slips right over your finger makes it easy. You gently wipe along the gum line and lift the plaque away before it hardens into tartar. The pros: it fights the gum disease that's directly linked to heart and kidney problems. The finger design gives you gentle control, and it costs about $6 to $12. The cons: it does not replace a real veterinary cleaning. Some dogs object at first, so you build up slowly with a tasty dog toothpaste, and it only works if you actually do it a few times a week. For the price, I don't think anything else on this list protects more of your dog's body. Now, the top 3. Number 3. Number 3, the Orthopedic memory foam bed. Think about where your dog spends nearly half their life asleep. If that sleep is happening on a thin pad over a hard floor, then every joint is under pressure all night long. And for an older dog or a large breed, that means stiffness, pain, and faster progressing arthritis. A true orthopedic bed uses solid memory foam, not loose fluffy stuffing, so it contours to the body and lifts their weight off the sore hips, elbows, and spine. The pros: it genuinely eases joint and arthritis pain. Seniors sleep more deeply and get up more easily in the morning, and it properly supports large and heavy dogs. The cons: a real memory foam bed costs more, usually $40 to $120. The cover needs regular washing, and be careful here. A lot of beds are labeled orthopedic, but use cheap foam that flattens within a month, so check that it's genuine, solid foam. For any dog over about 7 years old, or any large breed at any age, I think this one is worth every penny. We are almost at number 1. Here's number 2. Number 2, the pet water fountain. A lot of dogs simply do not drink enough water. And chronic, low-level dehydration is a quiet driver of some genuinely painful problems: urinary crystals, bladder and kidney stones, and extra strain on the kidneys over a lifetime. Part of the reason is instinct. In nature, still water can be stagnant and full of bacteria, so many dogs are naturally drawn to moving water instead. A fountain keeps the water flowing, filtered, and fresh, and that change alone gets a lot of dogs to drink noticeably more. The pros. Better hydration directly lowers the risk of stones and urinary issues. The filter keeps the water far cleaner than a bowl that's been sitting out all day, and it genuinely tempts picky or lazy drinkers. The cons, you do have to clean it and change the filters. The pump can make a little humming noise, and it needs an electrical outlet nearby. Price is $25 to $50. If your dog barely touches their water bowl or has ever had a urinary problem, switching them to a fountain is one of the easiest health upgrades you can make. And that brings us to number one, the one I would never, ever skip. And at number one, the one I would never skip, a bully stick safety holder. Let me tell you why this cheap little device tops my whole list. Dogs love a good chew, bully sticks, rawhides, dental chews, but here is the danger most owners never see coming. Your dog gnaws it down to a small final nub, gets excited, and tries to gulp that last piece whole. And that nub is exactly the wrong size. It lodges in the throat or the gut, and every single year that turns into a choking emergency. Emergency surgery, or worse. This is genuinely one of the most common preventable accidents I see, and it happens with the treats we hand our dogs every single day. A bully stick holder, like the BoniVet one, fixes it completely. You lock the chew into the holder, and the holder itself is far too big to swallow. So your dog can happily gnaw and enjoy the whole chew, but when it gets down to that dangerous last piece, they physically cannot gulp it. It stays clamped safely in the device. What I love about it, it lets your dog enjoy the chews they love without you hovering in fear. It stops both the choking and the swallowed blockage risk in one simple move. And it is cheap, usually around $15 to $25. The catches, you do need to match it to the size of your dog and the chews you use, so get the right size, the large for bigger dogs, and it only works with compatible sticks and chews. And you should still supervise chew time, always. But for a little device that quietly prevents one of the most common and most heartbreaking emergencies out there, this earns the number one spot. I hope it saves you a terrifying trip to the vet. So there's the full countdown. Number 9, the paw washer. Number 8, the ramp. 7, the cooling mat. 6, the snuffle mat. 5, the puzzle feeder. 4, that cheap little finger toothbrush. 3, the orthopedic bed. 2, the water fountain. And number 1, the anti-choking rescue device, the one I would never skip. A quick word on how I rank these. Everyday usefulness, real vet-backed benefit, value for the money, and how much safety each one actually buys you. And just to be clear, nobody paid for a spot on this list. Now I genuinely want to hear from you. Which number's already in your home, and which one are you buying next? Tell me down in the comments, because other dog owners really do read them and get ideas from you. And if this helped you protect your dog, do me one small favor and subscribe. Every week, I break down what actually keeps your dog healthy, safe, and happy. I'll see you in the next one.